What if I told you that the greatest enemy you will ever face is not out there, but within? That the war you fight daily is not with the world, but with your own thoughts? The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius all taught that our minds shape our reality, and yet most of us let negativity run wild, unchecked, like an untrained beast. This is the war of the mind, and if you don't learn to control it, it will control you. But the Stoics, some of the wisest philosophers in history, understood a secret. Negative thinking is not reality. It is simply a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. Today, we're going to break this habit once and for all. These lessons will equip you with the Stoic tools to kill it before it kills your potential. Lesson 1. You are not your thoughts. Have you ever been trapped in an endless loop of negative thinking? A single doubt enters your mind, and suddenly it snowballs into a storm of self-doubt, fear, and anxiety. It's as if your brain is running a script that only focuses on your worst-case scenarios, amplifying every insecurity and turning minor worries into overwhelming problems. The Stoics teach that you are not your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the power of the mind extensively, emphasizing that thoughts come and go, but they do not define you unless you allow them to. Negative thoughts will come, but it is your choice whether to believe them or let them pass. A great way to weaken the grip of negative thinking is to question it. When a troubling thought enters your mind, ask yourself, is this absolutely true? More often than not, our negative thoughts are exaggerated or based on past fears rather than reality. Another effective method is to use cognitive distancing. View your thoughts as separate from yourself. Imagine your mind as a river and each thought as a leaf floating downstream. You can observe it without having to pick it up or carry it with you. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, label the thought. This is just a thought, not reality. Do not engage with it. Let it pass like clouds in the sky, or better yet, replace it with a constructive one. Instead of "I'm going to fail," think, "I will learn and improve." Often, negativity is rooted in assumptions rather than facts. By questioning its validity, you weaken its power. Engage in positive self-dialogue. Speak to yourself as you would to a friend. If a friend made a mistake, would you call them a failure? You would encourage them to try again. Offer yourself the same kindness. With practice, you'll realize that you hold the power to shape your mind's landscape, transforming negative loops into productive and empowering thoughts. The more you train your mind to challenge, replace, and release negativity, the stronger your mental resilience will become. Lesson 2. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. Negative thinking thrives when we focus on things we cannot control. The Stoics believed in the dichotomy of control. There are things within our control and things outside it. Worrying about the uncontrollable is wasted energy. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The modern world amplifies this problem. Social media, news cycles, and external pressures constantly throw situations at us that are beyond our influence, yet they consume our mental energy. Every moment spent dwelling on these distractions drains our capacity to act effectively where it truly matters. The next time negative thoughts try to take hold, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. But don't stop there. Instead of merely dismissing the thought, refocus on something you can influence. Direct your attention toward learning a new skill, improving your relationships, or bettering your daily routine. By actively engaging with what you can change, you not only weaken negativity, but also build momentum toward a productive mindset. Another powerful exercise is the circle of influence technique. Draw two circles, one labeled "What I Control" and another, larger one, labeled "What I Don't Control." List specific worries in each. By visually sorting them, you reinforce the idea that not everything demands your concern. The more you practice this, the quicker your mind will recognize distractions and discard them before they take root. Controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't is not just about reducing anxiety, it's about reclaiming your focus and power. When you waste energy fixating on matters beyond your influence, you drain the mental reserves needed for growth, productivity, and resilience. Imagine a garden where you only have so much water to give. If you spend all your time watering weeds, things outside your control, you will have none left to nurture the plants that can actually flourish. The same applies to your mind. Focus your energy on aspects of life where your efforts will bear fruit, such as self-improvement, relationships, and meaningful work. A great way to implement this practice is to maintain a daily reflection journal. At the end of each day, write down 3 things that occupied your mind, then categorize them. Was this something I could control? Did it serve my growth? This simple practice will help retrain your brain to invest its focus where it truly matters. Choose wisely where you invest your thoughts, because wherever your attention goes, your reality follows. Lesson 3. Rewrite the narrative. Negative thinking often comes from the stories we tell ourselves. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. I'm a failure. These are not truths. They are stories we create and replay in our minds until they feel real. The Stoics teach that you must be the author of your own mind, rewriting these mental narratives to serve you instead of harm you. Imagine for a moment that your thoughts are the script of a movie. If you are the director, would you choose to make a film filled with doubt and failure, or one of perseverance and growth? You have the power to change the story. When a negative thought arises, rewrite it immediately. Instead of "I'm not good enough," say "I am improving every day." Instead of "I'll never succeed," say "Success is a journey and I am taking the next step." Instead of "This is too hard, this is too much work," or "I'm a failure," say "I am learning," and each setback brings new knowledge. Your words shape your reality, and by shifting them, you shift your perception of yourself. Whenever a self-defeating belief appears, write it down and then rewrite it with a positive, empowering alternative. Over time, this practice will train your mind to automatically default to constructive self-talk rather than destructive narratives. Another powerful method is visualization. Picture yourself accomplishing the very thing you doubt. See yourself overcoming obstacles, learning from challenges, and celebrating victories. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in the scene. Hear the sounds, feel the emotions, and experience the sense of accomplishment. By reinforcing positive mental imagery, you condition your mind to see possibilities rather than limitations. To make visualization even more effective, engage all of your senses. Imagine the texture of a trophy in your hands, the warmth of a handshake from someone congratulating you, the fresh air as you stand on the summit of a challenge you once thought impossible. The more vivid the imagery, the more powerful the impact on your subconscious mind. Another useful strategy is guided visualization. Record yourself describing a future success in rich detail and play it back regularly. This repetition strengthens neural pathways and reinforces confidence. In addition, create a vision board with images, words, and symbols that represent your goals. Place it somewhere visible so you are constantly reminded of what you are working toward. Visualization is most effective when combined with action. Envision success, then take concrete steps toward it. Use your mental imagery as motivation to push forward, adjust your approach when necessary, and maintain resilience in the face of setbacks. Each visualization session should be followed by at least one tangible action to make your vision a reality. Set deadlines for each step to maintain accountability and ensure progress. To maximize the impact of visualization, combine it with affirmations and repeated exposure. Write down your vision and read it every morning. Record yourself describing your future success and listen to it regularly. Engage with your goals through all of your senses. See it, say it, feel it, and act on it. When you incorporate multiple reinforcement techniques, visualization transforms from a passive daydream into an active blueprint for success. Additionally, practice mental contrasting, pairing positive visualization with an awareness of potential challenges, so that you are prepared to overcome obstacles as they arise. Another technique is to break down your visualization into detailed micro-goals. Instead of only picturing the final success, imagine each step you must take to get there. Visualize yourself mastering each stage, overcoming small obstacles, and gradually building the confidence needed to reach your ultimate goal. This step-by-step approach makes your vision more attainable and prevents overwhelm. Write down these steps and review them regularly, adjusting as needed to stay on track. Practice embodied visualization. Physically act out the emotions and behaviors of your envisioned success. If you see yourself as a confident speaker, stand up, breathe deeply, and adopt a poised posture while visualizing. This strengthens the neural pathways that align your mindset with your desired outcome. If you aspire to be a successful athlete, practice the movements and mindset of victory, reinforcing confidence through repeated physical engagement. Beyond individual visualization sessions, integrate this practice into your daily routine. Start your mornings with a few minutes of visualizing your goals, reinforcing them with affirmations and reviewing your progress. Imagine yourself overcoming obstacles, embracing challenges, and making progress step by step. Take time to feel the emotions associated with achieving your goals: joy, pride, and determination. Let these feelings energize you for the day ahead. Throughout the day, find small moments to reinforce your visualization. Before an important task, take a deep breath and briefly picture yourself succeeding. Use visualization as a tool to boost confidence, maintain focus, and reduce anxiety. Incorporating these mini-sessions will help train your mind to expect success rather than doubt. At night, reflect on your achievements, both big and small. Recognizing your progress, even incremental steps, reinforces a success-driven mindset. Visualize the next steps for continued growth. Consider writing down the day's wins in a journal and reading them before bed, allowing your subconscious to process them positively while you sleep. The choice is yours. Will you continue telling yourself a story that drags you down, or will you take control and script a new narrative that lifts you up? The decision is within your power. Begin crafting your success today and take decisive steps to turn your vision into reality. Success begins in the mind. Cultivate it with intention, belief, and consistent action. By continuously visualizing and acting on your aspirations, you transform dreams into reality, making progress every single day. Lesson 4. Embrace hardship as training. What if every difficulty was not a setback, but training for greatness? The Stoics embraced hardship as an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics wrote extensively about reframing adversity and challenges as opportunities. Instead of allowing negative thoughts to paralyze you, reframe challenges as necessary resistance to strengthen you. Hardship is inevitable, but your response to it determines its impact on your life. Each challenge presents a crossroads. You can let it defeat you, or you can use it as a stepping stone to build resilience, wisdom, and self-discipline. The Stoics recognized that adversity is not something to be feared, but embraced as a forge for character. Strength is built through trials, and without them, true growth is impossible. Difficulties should be seen as the refining fire that tempers steel. Without the heat, the metal remains weak. Likewise, without hardship, you remain untested and unproven. If you avoid all discomfort, you deny yourself the ability to develop mental fortitude. Instead of retreating from challenges, embrace them with the mindset of a warrior in training. Every setback, every rejection, and every failure is another repetition in the gym of life, making you stronger, more capable, and more prepared for future battles. When you encounter difficulties, remind yourself that pain and discomfort are temporary, but the strength you build in facing them lasts forever. Train your mind to seek the lesson in every hardship. Instead of reacting emotionally, step back and ask, "What can I learn from this? How will this make me stronger?" By doing this, you shift from seeing obstacles as barriers to viewing them as opportunities for self-improvement. When a negative thought arises, ask yourself, "How can I use this to grow?" Every hardship is a teacher. Keep a challenge journal where you write down struggles you face alongside the lessons they offer. This simple act rewires your mind to focus on growth rather than setbacks. Additionally, take it a step further. Not only write down the lesson, but strategize how you will apply it in the future. Review past entries and recognize patterns. Are there recurring challenges that suggest an area where you need greater strength? Reflection, combined with action, transforms hardship into mastery. Many people hesitate to start a journal, believing it to be unnecessary, tedious, or simply not worth their time. However, let me tell you this. If you truly aspire to live by Stoic principles, journaling is not optional, it is essential. The practice of writing your thoughts, reflecting on your experiences, and examining your own reasoning is one of the most powerful tools for self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius himself, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, kept a personal journal that later became the legendary Meditations. Journaling allows you to clarify your thoughts, track your progress, and solidify your philosophical understanding. It is not just a habit, it is a transformational practice that can reshape your perspective, strengthen your resilience, and guide you toward wisdom. If you wish to be a Stoic, commit to journaling. It will change your life. The more you train yourself to approach challenges this way, the more naturally resilience and mental toughness will develop in your life. Over time, difficulties that once seemed insurmountable will become mere stepping stones, and you will come to view adversity not as a burden, but as the very fuel that propels you toward greatness. Lesson 5. The power of present moment, awareness, and gratitude. Negative thinking often drags us into the past, filling our minds with regret, or propels us into the future, creating unnecessary anxiety about events that may never come to pass. The Stoics teach that the present moment is all that truly exists, and mastering this awareness is key to silencing negativity. When negative thinking arises, bring yourself fully to the present. Engage in deep breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold the breath for a moment, and exhale completely. Repeat this process until your mind settles. Observe your surroundings, take in the details, and ground yourself in reality. Use your senses to stay anchored. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Engage fully with the present moment by immersing yourself in what is happening right now rather than dwelling on what has been or what might be. The Stoics believed in controlling perception. You have the power to shift your focus from what you cannot change to what is in front of you. Remind yourself, right now, in this moment, I am safe, I am okay. My mind does not need to wander into the past or race toward the future. I choose to be here, fully present, fully alive. To strengthen this practice, incorporate mindfulness techniques into your daily routine. Set small reminders to pause and check in with yourself throughout the day. Take a few deep breaths before responding to a stressful situation. Ground yourself by engaging all 5 senses. Notice what you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste in the moment. This sensory awareness helps anchor you firmly in the present. Additionally, make time for daily reflections. At the end of the day, write down 3 moments when you felt fully present. This will train your brain to recognize and appreciate the power of mindfulness. Pair this habit with intentional movement, whether it's stretching, walking, or yoga, to physically reinforce your presence. Another effective strategy is practicing gratitude as a grounding tool. Instead of fixating on what's wrong or missing, focus on what is good and abundant in your life. Each morning, think of 3 things you are grateful for and reflect on why they matter. Don't worry if they are the same things as the day before. Every moment of gratitude reinforces a positive mindset. Writing these thoughts down in a gratitude journal can amplify the effects, as the physical act of writing solidifies these reflections in your mind. In addition to morning gratitude, incorporate this habit throughout your day. Pause before meals to express thanks for the food in front of you. Take a moment before bed to review the positive experiences of the day, no matter how small. Recognizing even the smallest joys, a kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset, a moment of laughter, helps shift your focus from what is lacking to what is present and valuable. To deepen the impact, practice gratitude in interactions with others. Express appreciation openly. Tell a friend, family member, or colleague why you value them. Gratitude shared strengthens relationships and fosters a culture of positivity. This practice helps rewire your brain to default to appreciation rather than frustration or negativity. This cultivates a mindset that appreciates the now instead of dwelling on past regrets or future worries. Over time, this intentional practice will train your mind to embrace the present, reducing negative thought patterns, increasing your sense of peace and clarity, and ultimately fostering a life rooted in awareness and fulfillment. Lesson 6. Practice the view from above. Imagine you are looking at your life from the perspective of a bird flying high above. Suddenly, your problems seem small, temporary, insignificant against the vast landscape below. The Stoics called this the view from above, a way to gain perspective and kill negative thinking. This practice urges you to zoom out and recognize that life's struggles are fleeting, just a speck in the grand design of existence. Now, take this a step further. Picture yourself from even higher, as if you were seeing your problems from space. The entire world exists beneath you, its bustling cities, endless oceans, and billions of lives, each filled with their own joys and struggles. The planet spins on, unconcerned with the trivial worries that consume our daily thoughts. From this viewpoint, how monumental do your worries really seem? Most of what troubles us today will dissolve into irrelevance over time. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year, 5 years, 10? If the answer is no, then why let it consume your present? To practice this, visualize not just yourself, but others. Millions of people facing challenges just like yours. Some are suffering more, others have found ways to rise above. Imagine their hardships, their triumphs, their moments of despair, and their resilience. Recognizing the shared human experience fosters empathy and reminds you that struggles are not unique to you. When you acknowledge the temporary nature of problems and the resilience of the human spirit, you start to see difficulties as fleeting rather than permanent. Take a moment to compare your challenges to history. Wars have been fought, civilizations have risen and fallen, natural disasters have reshaped the world, and yet life has endured. Empires have been built from the rubble of past failures, and individuals have risen from defeat to achieve greatness. Your current problems, no matter how overwhelming they feel, are but a passing cloud in the vast sky of time. If history has shown us anything, it is that resilience is the key to survival and progress. This perspective doesn't diminish your struggles. It simply reminds you that you are not alone and that difficulties are universal. Think of the countless figures in history, philosophers, warriors, inventors, and leaders who have faced trials beyond imagination. Many of them endured suffering, uncertainty, and hardship, yet they persevered and left a lasting impact on the world. Their struggles did not define them. Their response to those struggles did. When you place your problems in the grand scope of human experience, they lose their power to paralyze you. The next time negativity strikes, rise above it, literally. Imagine yourself soaring beyond it, untethered from stress and doubt. Visualize yourself not as a person weighed down by problems, but as a figure rising above them with wisdom and clarity. As you mentally lift yourself away from the heaviness of current challenges, recognize the fleeting nature of all hardship. Everything that weighs on your mind today will inevitably transform, diminish, or disappear with time. What feels insurmountable now will likely be a small footnote in the greater narrative of your life. Recognize that in a year, 5 years, or even a decade, most of what troubles you now will barely be a memory. Think about past obstacles that once seemed overwhelming but are now distant recollections. What did you learn from those experiences? How did they shape you? Each hardship is another test, another opportunity to grow stronger and refine your character. Instead of viewing struggles as burdens, see them as essential lessons in your personal evolution. To further solidify this mindset, practice regularly stepping back from immediate concerns and viewing them from a broader perspective. Imagine yourself as an observer, watching your life as if it were a movie. Would the protagonist of your story let temporary setbacks define them? Or would they rise, adapt, and become stronger? Make the conscious choice to be the latter. Use this newfound clarity to navigate life with a sense of calm and purpose. Cultivate an attitude of resilience, knowing that in the grand scale of existence, you are capable of overcoming whatever stands in your way. Train your mind to see adversity as a necessary tool for growth rather than an impediment. Just as the great thinkers and leaders before you turned their trials into triumphs, so too can you reshape your mindset and use adversity as the fuel for your own personal transformation. The choice is always yours. Rise above, adapt, and thrive. Lesson 7. The power of self-discipline and taking action. Negative thinking often thrives in a chaotic, unstructured mind. The Stoics placed great emphasis on self-discipline as a way to master one's thoughts and emotions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Self-discipline allows you to redirect negative thinking into purposeful action rather than letting it control your mood and decision-making. Building self-discipline begins with small habits. Each day, set clear intentions for what you want to accomplish and follow through with them, no matter how minor. Whether it's waking up at a certain time, maintaining a fitness routine, or reading instead of scrolling social media, these small victories reinforce your ability to control your mind rather than letting negativity dictate your actions. Over time, these small wins accumulate, building a foundation of confidence and resilience. Another critical element of self-discipline is emotional regulation. Instead of reacting impulsively to frustration or setbacks, pause and reflect. The Stoics practiced delaying emotional reactions, giving themselves space to evaluate whether a situation truly warranted distress. By cultivating self-control, you prevent negative thinking from spiraling and taking root. When emotions arise, acknowledge them, but do not let them rule you. Ask yourself, is this response aligned with my values? If not, redirect your focus to constructive action. Practice deep breathing or stepping away from a situation to gain perspective before responding. The ability to manage emotional impulses is a superpower that gives you control over your thoughts and actions, preventing negativity from taking over your mind. Self-discipline also involves training your mind to tolerate discomfort. The more you expose yourself to controlled challenges, whether it's waking up early, fasting, or engaging in cold exposure, the more you strengthen your willpower. These practices, known as voluntary discomfort, remind you that you can endure more than you think. When negative thinking arises, this discipline enables you to push past self-imposed limitations and keep moving forward. Voluntary discomfort builds resilience by teaching you to embrace hardship instead of fearing it. The more you condition yourself to withstand controlled discomfort, the better prepared you will be to handle unexpected difficulties that life throws your way. Another key aspect of self-discipline is consistency. Small daily actions, when practiced consistently, build an unshakable foundation of mental resilience. Develop rituals that reinforce discipline, such as starting your day with focused breathing, committing to a fitness routine, or setting aside time for mindful reflection. The act of showing up for yourself every single day, no matter how small the step, solidifies your inner strength. The more you train your mind and body to stick to discipline, the less room you leave for negativity to grow. Consistency in self-discipline also cultivates a sense of trust in oneself. When you set a goal and repeatedly follow through, you prove to yourself that you are reliable and capable. This inner trust is crucial in eliminating self-doubt, a major contributor to negative thinking. If you lack self-trust, you may find yourself questioning your abilities and hesitating in the face of challenges. However, by reinforcing disciplined habits daily, you create a track record of personal success that erodes doubt and builds confidence. Another powerful method to enhance consistency is using accountability mechanisms. Keep a daily log of your progress in a journal or use a habit tracking app to record your efforts. Share your goals with a mentor or friend who can check in on your progress. The presence of external accountability can be a powerful motivator, keeping you on track even when internal motivation wanes. Every time you practice self-discipline, you strengthen your mental resilience. You train your mind to focus on what truly matters rather than indulging in unhelpful negativity. By embracing self-discipline, you transform fleeting thoughts into meaningful progress, ensuring that negativity does not have space to grow. Through repetition, self-discipline becomes an integral part of who you are, allowing you to navigate life with confidence, purpose, and inner strength. With enough practice, self-discipline shapes your identity, turning deliberate effort into instinct. This habitual discipline is what sets successful individuals apart from those who remain stuck in cycles of negativity and self-doubt. Over time, self-discipline leads to self-mastery. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the master of your mind, and self-discipline is the key to maintaining control. When faced with temptation or discouragement, remind yourself that discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. The more you push past short-term discomfort, the more you solidify long-term success. Each disciplined action reinforces a mindset that fosters success, clarity, and the ability to rise above negative thinking. The more you challenge yourself to stay committed, the more your mental strength expands. Rather than letting circumstances dictate your emotions, you take ownership of your reactions. This sense of control creates a ripple effect, positively influencing every aspect of your life, your work, relationships, and self-image. Ultimately, self-discipline is the foundation of true freedom. When you cultivate inner strength, external factors lose their power over you. You are no longer reactive, but proactive. You move through life with intention, carving your own path instead of being swept away by impulsive thoughts or fleeting emotions. When negativity arises, self-discipline enables you to counter it with action, clarity, and unshakable resolve. Lesson 8. The power of emotional detachment. Negative thinking often stems from emotional over-attachment to situations and outcomes. The Stoics believed that true peace comes from emotional detachment, learning to observe events without becoming consumed by them. When negativity arises, practice stepping back and viewing your emotions as separate from yourself. Instead of immediately identifying with feelings of anger or anxiety, take a moment to observe them objectively. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Is this reaction helpful? By acknowledging your emotions without letting them control you, you create a mental buffer that reduces their intensity and allows for a more rational response. This small but powerful shift fosters emotional clarity and prevents negativity from overwhelming your mind. One effective exercise is the observer technique. Imagine your thoughts and emotions as passing clouds or waves in the ocean. Rather than resisting or drowning in them, simply observe them. Accept their presence without judgment, knowing that they will eventually pass. Another tool is Stoic premeditation. Before facing a stressful situation, mentally prepare for possible outcomes and remind yourself that external events do not define you. This helps you respond with calmness rather than reacting impulsively. Unmet expectations often lead to frustration and negativity. We assume things should go a certain way, and when they don't, disappointment sets in. Emotional detachment allows us to accept reality as it is, rather than how we think it should be. Instead of letting unmet expectations generate resentment, practice acceptance and adaptability. Ask yourself, was this expectation reasonable? More often than not, we set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting the world to conform to our desires rather than adjusting to the reality of a situation. Learning to let go of rigid expectations frees us from unnecessary suffering and allows us to embrace life as it unfolds. Resentment is another byproduct of emotional over-attachment. When we hold grudges, we give power to the past. The Stoics believed in letting go of resentment because it serves no practical purpose. It only weighs us down with unnecessary emotional baggage. Instead of dwelling on what others have done, focus on what you can control, your response. By shifting your attention to personal growth rather than past wrongs, you free yourself from the emotional chains of resentment. A powerful exercise is to ask, how does holding on to this resentment serve me? Often the answer is that it doesn't. It only fuels negativity and prevents progress. Jealousy often stems from comparison. In today's world, where social media showcases the highlight reels of others' lives, it's easy to feel envious. However, jealousy is rooted in the illusion that someone else's success diminishes our own. The Stoics remind us that true fulfillment comes from self-improvement, not external validation. When jealousy arises, shift your focus inward and ask, am I doing my best? Compete only with yourself, striving to be better than you were yesterday rather than measuring yourself against others. Recognize that everyone's journey is unique, and someone else's success does not take away from your own potential. Competition with others fuels negative thinking when it becomes an unhealthy obsession. While a little competition can be motivating, constantly comparing ourselves to others can make us feel inadequate. The only competition that truly matters is the one we have with ourselves. Are you progressing? Are you learning? Are you growing? These are the metrics that should define success. By focusing on your personal journey, you detach from external validation and embrace self-improvement as a lifelong pursuit. Instead of competing to be better than others, strive to be better than your past self. Negativity often feels like the default state because it requires less effort than positivity. It's easier to dwell on what's wrong than to find solutions. It takes emotional control to resist the pull of negativity. The Stoics taught that positivity is a discipline. It requires conscious effort to cultivate a constructive mindset. Each time you catch yourself slipping into negativity, pause and ask, what is the alternative perspective? With practice, choosing positivity becomes second nature. Remember that being positive does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to focus on opportunities rather than obstacles. We often react negatively because it gives us a sense of control over uncertainty. However, negativity does not change reality. It only distorts our perception of it. Emotional detachment helps us respond rather than react. Instead of immediately assuming the worst, train yourself to pause and assess the situation with clarity. This simple act of delaying reaction weakens the grip of negative thinking and allows rationality to take charge. A good habit to develop is mental time travel. Ask yourself how you'll feel about this situation a month or a year from now. This perspective often reveals that what seems overwhelming in the present is temporary and manageable. One way to cultivate emotional control is through self-awareness. Pay attention to your triggers. What situations or thoughts typically lead to negativity? Once you identify patterns, you can work on disrupting them. If social comparison triggers jealousy, limit exposure to sources that fuel that emotion. If unmet expectations lead to disappointment, adjust your mindset to accept uncertainty rather than resist it. Self-awareness is the first step to mastering your emotions. Keeping a reflection journal where you track negative emotional triggers can help you build awareness and develop strategies to manage them better. By mastering emotional detachment, you gain control over your inner world. You become less affected by external circumstances and more capable of handling challenges with clarity and resilience. Instead of allowing emotions to hijack your decision-making, you cultivate the ability to process them in a constructive way. This gives you the freedom to respond rather than react, to act with intention rather than impulse. The goal is not to suppress emotions, but to prevent them from dictating your thoughts and actions. Many people mistake emotional detachment for indifference, but in reality, it is a form of emotional intelligence. It is about recognizing emotions, understanding them, and choosing whether or not to let them influence you. Detachment allows you to feel deeply without being consumed by feelings of anger, anxiety, or despair. Emotional detachment is especially useful when dealing with criticism, failure, or disappointment. When you detach from your ego, you no longer take failure personally. Instead of internalizing mistakes as reflections of your worth, you see them as opportunities to learn and improve. The same applies to criticism. Rather than feeling wounded by harsh words, you assess whether they offer any valuable insight and discard the rest. Another benefit of emotional detachment is that it frees you from the need for external validation. Many people suffer from negative thinking because they place too much importance on the opinions of others. By detaching from this need, you develop a sense of self that is independent of praise or criticism. Your self-worth comes from within, not from the shifting judgments of those around you. One of the most difficult aspects of emotional detachment is resisting the pull of immediate emotional gratification. It is easy to indulge in anger, self-pity, or resentment because these emotions provide a temporary sense of satisfaction. However, true emotional mastery requires the discipline to step back, assess the situation, and choose a response that aligns with your higher values. Emotional detachment also helps you break free from negative mental loops. Many people get stuck replaying past mistakes or worrying about future outcomes. By detaching from these thoughts, you bring your focus back to the present moment, where you have real power and control. Letting go of the past and not obsessing over the future allows you to approach life with greater peace and mental clarity. Ultimately, emotional detachment is not about feeling less. It's about feeling in a way that empowers you rather than controls you. It allows you to engage with life fully while maintaining inner stability. By practicing emotional detachment, you cultivate the ability to navigate life's ups and downs with a steady mind, ensuring that emotions serve you rather than enslave you. This is the foundation of true inner strength and lasting peace. Lesson 9. Choose the right company. Negativity is contagious, spreading like wildfire through the minds of those who entertain it. The Stoics warned against keeping company with those who feed our worst tendencies. Associate with those who will make a better man of you, Seneca advised. The people around us shape our thoughts, influence our emotions, and either help us grow or drag us down. The wrong company reinforces negative thinking, amplifies doubts, and keeps you trapped in cycles of frustration and despair. If negative thinking is a fire, the wrong company is gasoline. People who constantly complain, gossip, or dwell on problems fuel the very thoughts you are trying to overcome. They pull you into their storm rather than letting you stand in your calm. Before you realize it, their negativity becomes your default mode of thinking, making it harder to see possibilities and solutions. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and challenge you can be a game changer. Positive, growth-minded individuals serve as mirrors reflecting your potential, not your fears. They challenge you to rise above self-doubt, to see obstacles as opportunities, and to approach life with a mindset of resilience rather than defeat. Evaluate your relationships. Who do you spend the most time with? Do they encourage you to improve, or do they reinforce your worst habits? If your circle is filled with negativity, it may be time to distance yourself and seek out those who align with your values. You don't have to cut people out entirely, but you do need to set boundaries to protect your mental space. One way to shift your environment is to actively seek mentors and role models, people who embody the mindset and discipline you aspire to cultivate. If you don't have access to such people in real life, turn to books, podcasts, and content that immerse you in the thoughts and ideas of great minds. Learning from the wisdom of others can reshape your inner world and fortify your mind against negativity. Additionally, be mindful of the conversations you engage in. Avoid idle gossip, cynical complaints, and discussions that drain your energy rather than empower you. Instead, cultivate conversations that encourage problem-solving, personal growth, and meaningful reflection. Energy is contagious. Choose to engage in discussions that elevate rather than erode your mindset. Lastly, remember that influence is a two-way street. Just as you absorb the mindsets of those around you, others absorb yours. Strive to be the kind of person who lifts others up rather than pulls them down. Be an example of strength, wisdom, and resilience. In doing so, you not only transform your own mindset, but also contribute to a world where negativity has less power and growth becomes the dominant force. Lesson 10. Memento Mori, the ultimate perspective shift. Nothing kills negative thinking faster than remembering that life is short. The Stoics meditated on death daily, not to be morbid, but to put things in perspective. You could leave life right now, Let that determine what you do, say, and think, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Life's fleeting nature makes our worries seem insignificant when viewed from a broader perspective. When negative thoughts arise, remind yourself, will this matter on my deathbed? If not, why waste another moment on it? Ask yourself, if I only had a month left to live, would I spend it dwelling on this? More often than not, the answer is no. By contemplating the impermanence of life, you free yourself from the grip of trivial concerns and focus on what truly matters. Memento mori, the practice of reflecting on death, is not about fear, it is about clarity. It reminds us that time is our most precious resource. Every moment spent in negative thought is a moment wasted. Instead of indulging in complaints, regrets, or self-doubt, channel your energy into action, gratitude, and meaningful pursuits. Think of your days as a currency that cannot be replenished. How are you spending it? Are you investing in thoughts and actions that build your character and bring joy, or are you squandering it on worries and negativity? The reality of death teaches us urgency, not panic, but purpose. It inspires us to be present, to let go of petty grievances, and to embrace life fully. Use this mindset shift to break free from mental traps. If something is not worthy of your time in the grand scheme of life, do not give it power over your emotions. If a situation can be changed, take action. If it cannot, accept it and move forward. Holding on to negativity only robs you of the time you still have. By integrating memento mori into your daily practice, you train yourself to focus on what truly matters. You cultivate resilience, clarity, and an appreciation for the present moment. In doing so, you take full ownership of your life, ensuring that when the end comes, as it inevitably will, you will have lived fully, without regret. Negative thinking is not harmless. It is a thief, stealing your peace, your confidence, and your potential. The Stoics did not allow their minds to be ruled by destructive thoughts, and neither should you. With these 10 lessons, you now have the tools to kill negative thinking before it kills you. The choice is yours. Will you let negativity win, or will you master your mind and take control of your destiny? The war is fought in the mind. Now, go and win it.